What's going on?
Welcome to the Zompire Horde Podcast. Join us every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as your hosts, Vlad the Rad and Michelle of the Dead, discuss horror, true crime, and the macabre. Episodes available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Join us, won't you?
Hello, and welcome back to an all-new Zompire Horde Podcast, where I, your host, Vlad the Rad, along with my new co-host, Patrick VonSmithenstein, and Michelle of the Dead, who is currently dead. What the hell?
Yep, she
killed her.
Dead.
She's dead.
She's dead. It's that music. It scared me to death.
Not even here.
Probably scared her to death too.
Tonight we do not have comments live. Oh, here she is.
Just kidding. I'm not really dead. This was my head in the movie. Jason Brooks made this. I did the makeup. He made the thing. So just had to start it off that way today.
Your death scene in Vengeance 2 was phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that whole movie was fantastic.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be a part of it.
A couple of announcements really quick before we get underway. We do not have comments on YouTube tonight, so if you want to comment, you have to be a part of our group. If you're not, then I don't know what to tell you. Secondly, Melissa Volan says, "Hey y'all, we got Patrick back."
Yes, I'm back. He's a fan favorite.
You have to deal with me again.
He will be on. Patrick will be on almost every episode now, and whenever he can. It's going to be a three-way death match.
Oh shit! At some point, we're gonna have to play Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
Yeah, you just make up shit like, would you rather, eat a bug or
eat a human that tastes like spam?
Patrick's butthole. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Or both.
Oh, I mean, it's not like a truth or dare where you have to do the thing.
No, it's just a would you rather, and it's just for discussion. So you can say,
if one of the
why would you choose that?
Butthole, then yes, that's my answer.
I was gonna say, calm down now, Vlad. Calm down. Well, can I say something before we get started?
Of course.
I brought you guys something, and it's in light of tonight's episode. I brought you guys a sandwich.
Oh.
And I would like you to eat the fucking sandwich.
Oh.
I don't want a sandwich.
Please tell me you're getting this.
I'm having pierogies and a salad for dinner.
No,
I'm getting it. I'm getting
it. This is a human sandwich, and I'm offering it to you.
I'll have a human sandwich.
Yeah. We're talking about human tasting like spam. We're talking about Dahmer tonight, and we're talking about the Netflix show with Evan Peters. We're talking about Dahmer just in general. And I mean, the best scene in the Dahmer show with Evan Peters was this scene right here when he was trying to get Glenda to eat a fucking sandwich. That scene was phenomenal. I loved it. I wanted to bring you guys a sandwich because I loved it so much, but it failed, and you guys appreciate my sandwich.
I got it.
I would like to point out Jeremy Renner also played Jeffrey Dahmer.
He did.
So we can always talk about that.
He did in a 2002 movie just called Dahmer.
And there's also My Friend Dahmer.
There's some people in the comments that show up as Facebook user. So say who you are, guys. Say who you are.
You have permission to use your name.
Yeah. Or you can just say who you are.
Or say who you are. But
so that we know that you're there. So, I mean, this could be 3 different people or one person.
One person. The Milwaukie Cannibal. Let's talk about it.
Can we start with the Netflix show?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do it.
I feel like that's the newest thing, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the biggest rage. I mean, he's always been popular amongst serial killers. One of the most prolific and the most documentaries made about. And they made a series, and I forgot what I was going to say about it. Go ahead.
You were starting off so well. I was like, "Where's this going? I can't wait."
I don't know. I was going somewhere with it, but then I got distracted because Cat walked in front of me.
We get into the show. I just want to say this really quick. So his name was Jeffrey Dahmer, obviously. Born May 21st, 1960. Died November 28th, 1994, in custody.
Beaten to death.
He's also known as the Milwaukie Cannibal or the Milwaukie Monster. Obviously a serial killer and sex offender who committed murder, dismemberment of 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. Many of his later murders involved necrophilia, cannibalism, and the permanent preservation of body parts, typically all or part of the skeleton. Just to give everyone a little bit of a background as to what we're talking about.
I mean, nerd out on it, buddy. That's what we're here for, right?
It's true.
Did you say how many people he was convicted of killing?
17.
Oh, 17. I thought it was 16. I thought he killed 16, was convicted for 15 right away, and then was convicted for the 16th about a year later. But I'm not as educated as you, so I'm probably
wrong. I'm just honestly reading off of the Wikipedia page. So it says the dismemberment of 17 men and boys.
I'm reading out of here. My memory's shot though. I thought he was convicted of 16 or 15 right away, and then there was a 16th murder that they knew about in trial, but they didn't convict him for that 16th murder until
after the fact.
After the fact, yeah. I don't know how long it was, but it was after the fact. Pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I'm skewing down here to see if it says anything.
I'm not like the go-to for all answers. I'm not the like final say. I don't know anything. I do know that Evan Peters fucking crushed it.
Yes, he did.
As Dahmer.
He totally did, and that's kind of a thing. I think that's where I was going with that. He's always been really popular, but now there's this new wave because of the series with Evan Peters. Because Evan Peters is like, he's so cute, and everybody loves him, and he's such a good actor, and all that sort of stuff. And he does a great job, and so he kind of like sensationalizes, makes Dahmer kind of hot, and it's like,
yeah, Evan Peters is hot. He's hot.
I mean. So people are having a hard time separating the character from the actor. And that's like a thing, people are dressing up and, people, I'm in love and blah, 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 blah. He's dead, but, they're still in love with the idea of Jeffrey Dahmer.
One thing I wanted to say kind of off of what you were just saying, like the sensationalizing of Jeffrey Dahmer and murder. That's one thing about Monster that I actually thought was refreshing was that show. I mean, obviously it focused on Dahmer, right? But it actually also like gave light to the victims. Like they changed the story a little bit and it wasn't 100% factual. I mean, it's more factual than Jeremy Renner's 2002 movie and some of the things you've seen in the past. There's some hiccups, but for a TV show, whatever, it was pretty factual, but it gave light to the victims. It actually told their story as well as theirs, which you don't see in a lot of movies about serial killers. They just focus on the killer. Right. And it was just really refreshing to see a show that actually told their story as well. Like it told Jeffrey Dahmer's story, but it told the victims' stories as well. And I just really like that. And
I'd like to point out, actually, Evan Peters says that he had one rule for Ryan Murphy, who was the creator, to follow going into the series, and that would be that he never told the story from Dahmer's point of view. And so as an audience, you never really sympathize with him. You're not really getting into his plight. You're more sort of watching it from the outside, looking in. And so I think that's what leads to us kind of like, being separate in the way he told that story. Yeah,
no, I loved it. Ryan Murphy is... did I say his name? Yeah, Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Like, I feel like, American Horror Story started off with a bang, and it's gotten kind of weak over time. But I mean, you're what, like 10, 11 seasons in that
11, yeah,
that happened. But I mean, the beginning was phenomenal writing. Evan Peters was fantastic. So those two to reunite again on Dahmer was just I was the
Melissa,
first time I saw like a preview for that, I was just like, ah.
Yeah, me too. Melissa says he wore weights on his wrist to keep his arms by his side to mimic Dahmer's stance during the entire filming. I couldn't imagine that. That would be so brutal.
That's
like
interesting.
Your arms would go to sleep after a while. It seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
well, it depends on how heavy the weights are. Maybe they were just to remind him to keep his arms down. Maybe they weren't like 20 pounds around each wrist or something. You know, maybe it was just like little tiny sandbags or something.
Those little 5-pounders.
Or even just like maybe even like a 2-pounder. You know, just something that remind you keep your arms down.
I'm not sure if you guys know this, but they actually just redid it for 2 more seasons.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, Melissa says they're like 3 to 5 pound weights on his wrists.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and oddly enough, Angela and I were actually talking about this, that in the series Dahmer, they actually did show, I think it was Gacy.
Yep.
And who was the other one? Was it Ramirez? I thought they showed.
I don't remember, but I remember the Gacy, and I was like, oh my god, he's making a cameo.
Yeah, you got to wonder if those are going to be the next in that line of in that series.
I think we're gonna see Pogo in the next one, just because he had like a pretty significant little segment. I don't remember seeing Ramirez though.
I'm trying to remember who the third one was.
Dude, I would watch it.
I just remember Gacy.
Richard Ramirez.
Actually, in season 5 of American Horror Story, the hotel one, Cortez.
Yeah.
There's there's like they're all having dinner, and it's Gacy, Eileen's there, Ramirez is there, Dahmer's there, and the
doesn't Zodiac killer play H.H. Holmes in that episode?
Wait, what's that?
Doesn't Evan Peters play H.H. Holmes in that episode?
No, he plays this guy who owned the hotel who died years ago, and I don't know if it's supposed to be H.H. Holmes or if but it's a different. The guy has a different name. It's not H.H. Holmes.
I took it as that. I don't remember what his name was. It's been so long since I've seen that. I watched it when it first came out, but I think anyways, yeah, I thought it was him, but I'm stupid. So
I'm really excited though that they decided to do more with that series, that Ryan Murphy's going to continue doing those stories. Like, I think that's pretty cool. He did a great job. Like, even though it was slightly not exactly the exact story, it was close enough for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was the closest that we've gotten to, I mean, outside of a documentary, right? I mean, documentaries, even sometimes those are kind of like not factual. They're written biasedly, but for documentaries, that's usually where you go for at least close to the truth. But when you watch a TV show, I mean, you expect it to have some kind of like, inaccuracies in it because it's written for entertainment. But accuracy, Dahmer was the closest one out there. I think there was only a few things that were like really kind of off. Like Glenda wasn't actually his neighbor. She lived in a different complex over. She did report him when I can't remember the guy's last name, but the kid that got away, that when the cops were called, and then the cops released the kid back into Dahmer's custody. He has a really long last name that I can't remember, but it was actually like her kid or niece or something that reported that, like, called 911 that night, not her, but it was pretty close.
One of the things about that too was one of the officers, Balzarak, I believe, was actually supported by the union after he was suspended and came back, because those 2 officers that did that were suspended and were allowed back in. And that cop, John Balzarak, or whatever his name is, became the president of the Milwaukie Police Association in 2000.
Yeah, that whole story was pretty accurate, except for I don't think he won Cop of the Year that year, but he did get reinstated and he did go on to get promoted. And he was backed by the union, but I don't think he won the Officer of the Year award that the show portrayed him to win. So, I mean, that's something tiny. It's not anything like huge.
Yeah, no, it's not anything that you guys were like. We're all pretty close in age. I'm not going to out any of us as being old.
We're in our late 20s.
Yeah. But I mean, we were all alive during the original Dahmer. Do you remember like when you first heard it, like hit the news, kind of like what you thought about some guy eating and 17 other dudes? Do you remember like kind of how? Do you remember reading about it and how you felt?
I don't remember even hearing about it when it was happening. Not until like later.
I was pretty young. I mean, what was it? It was in the 70s, right? Yeah. So
but he was caught in what, 91?
Yeah. Yeah. When... I guess I was older then. Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking about like when he's doing it. No, I don't remember any of that. I don't know. I mean, news is, you don't get news like you do today. It's like all over social media. Like you can go on Facebook and find out what somebody did all over the world. Like back then, that stuff didn't exist. So you had to actually like watch local news and I wasn't really a big news person back then. I didn't really care about what CNN was saying.
In 1991, all I wanted to do was party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was like 14, so I was probably living in Baltimore and being a fucking fuck up. But I remember hearing about it, and I just was blown away because, like, nowadays I think we're kind of desensitized to these kind of stories. So the impact, it would have had in 1991. My mom was super into true crime stuff, and so I think like maybe I was exposed to it more than, general kids, I guess, or teenagers at the time.
Right.
But to me, I remember it hitting the news and it being everywhere. So I was just curious if you remember like kind of the emotion of everything going on.
I can imagine it was pretty fucking crazy though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's got one of the more crazy stories just because of also how recent it was. Like a lot of the Gacy stuff and Geen and all those were so, I mean, to me, I guess it seems like so much longer ago than 1991 does. And obviously we've had like a lot of serial killers and things since then. But I mean, he was like kind of the last one before it became fashionable to be a serial killer or whatever, because it was like before the internet and people did it for like, their 5 minutes of fame before they went and did life in prison or got the death penalty,
Well, and he hit different too, because one, he was a cannibal. Like you weren't hearing a lot about that, and two, he was killing dudes instead of women,
right,
and so that hit differently on the news. Like a lot of times when you're listening to something about serial killers, it's they're killing young women, they're killing hookers and stuff like that, homeless people, homeless women, just anything that it's always around women. Dahmer was slaying dudes, so that hit
slaying dudes.
Well, and that's good
that hit the news different, right?
That's good that you bring that up too, because on the newest season of American Horror Story, which also is done by Ryan Murphy, they actually touch on how in the 80s, and although this is that shows in the 80s and this is the 90s, almost the running storyline is how the police and things like that would just basically wash away gay men who were being attacked by other men and things like that. They were just like, oh, so for instance, even like the Dahmer thing, where they saw this obviously was a kid, but they were too fucking stupid to get it. They were like, oh, he's just into some weird shit, kinky shit with this gay relationship. And so they wouldn't investigate things like that. You know what I mean?
Because they were homophobes.
Exactly. And that was just the time period. And that's how it was. And I think that's why people like Gacy and Dahmer got away with that kind of stuff for so long, because, when people
nobody wanted to touch that.
Right. The cops didn't want to like get involved. They
like,
just,
no.
Yeah.
They might turn them gay.
We don't want the gays. You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I feel like they did a good job of kind of portraying that with the cops in the newest show too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell that like the police officers knew something wasn't right, but they just didn't want to press
They're
it.
like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, that's your boyfriend. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna leave.
We're gonna find some weird dicks and shit all over your house, so we don't want to go in there and see that.
Yeah, like we were like too uncomfortable to like actually like say, okay, this guy's up to some fucking shit. let's actually look into this. They're like, no, we're good. Yeah. We got another call we're gonna go hit.
I don't know if you guys noticed this. There was a goof in the show. In many episodes, there is a 3M command strip shown in Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment kitchen. This takes place in 1991 at the latest, end of the show. And 3M debuted its first wave of command products in 1996.
Ooh. How did you notice that?
It doesn't ruin the show, but, it's just a little goof.
Wait, like 3M is in the tape?
Yeah, like like the command strips that I paint my shit with. Yeah, like that stuff.
There was 3M in there? I missed that. I was oblivious.
That was a good catch.
They say, what is there, like no continuity in filmmaking? I disagree personally.
We try to a lot. But a lot of times you have to film things non-sequentially. And a lot of times the same people aren't available, or this happens and that happens. So
I'm guessing based on this comment, it's probably my mom commenting. Only you would notice the command strips. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. But so overall, we like the show. You guys thought it was a good one?
Oh yeah. I knew it was Angela.
Apparently, it's Angela.
Yeah, it was really good. It kept my attention the whole time. Because I get bored really easily. I fall asleep really easily too, and I watched it all, and I'm probably going to watch it again. Just because you watch something the first time is kind of just like this is like a preview. So next time I'm really you can pick up more things the following 100%. Times that you watch it, things that like you missed. Like, oh shit, command strip. Now I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch for that.
So I'm like one of those people, right? I think it was what's the American Pie? They do this one scene where they're in the bedroom, and it goes from him holding a red cup to him holding a blue cup that goes back to him holding a red cup. And every time I watch that movie, like I can't not see it, and that's why I get kind of like weird about watching movies and things being correct, because if I see it, then it like takes me out of the story.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, I recently watched a movie called Yummy, which was really good, by the way. It's a zombie movie, which I didn't really realize. But he gets bitten on one leg by this thing, but he's like holding the other leg. And same thing on Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's like a neck bite that happens, but like he's holding the other side of the neck. And I was like, ooh. And that's like a big time movie too. Yeah. Have you seen that one?
Bram Stoker's?
I've not.
Yummy or
I've seen Bram Stoker's.
Yeah, but you got to notice. Just pay attention to this. Pay attention.
Okay.
See it now. You'll see it.
Did either of you watch that My Friend Dahmer, the show of him as a child?
No.
That's on Netflix too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's either on Amazon.
Is it good?
Or Netflix. So my personal opinion is, I think it's good. I think it stretches how much of like the class clown, kind of how they kind of portray him to be like this really off the wall class clown dude. I think they overplay that in order to make the movie more interesting. I don't think that he was exactly how they portrayed him, but it made for an origin story, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it's based on that with Dahmer, like the newest Dahmer, like the class clown thing, but they played it off more like he wasn't like really a class clown. He was just playing to people who were kind of like bullying him a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, and I feel like that's probably a little more accurate than him actually being a class clown.
Yeah. He's probably just trying to make them, creep them out a bit.
Yeah. What do you guys think was like, how did Dahmer go from like quiet kid to the military to like cannibal murderer? Do you think it was because of the time period, because gay men weren't like really accepted, and then being abandoned by his family, just that like kind of like my pit bull, right? Michelle will tell you, like pit bulls have these like abandonment issues. Even if you go to the store for an hour,
you've been gone for 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, like
1 hour equals 2 weeks.
They're out there killing people.
Do you think there was something about him, like just being like having that feeling of abandonment constantly, and then not being accepted by society is what
I think that's
inevitably.
Probably like a quarter of it. I think like a lot of it's family,
perfect stuff,
nurture and nature.
It didn't seem like he had to like, I don't want to. I'm not saying like people with mental illness become serial killers, but it didn't seem like he really had like learning disabilities from.
No, he seemed quite smart, and he knew he wasn't crazy, and he just,
Someone thinks he had a borderline personality.
That's very possible.
It's probably Angela also as Facebook user.
I think it was like Michelle was saying, it's a little bit of nurture and nature, and then a little bit of his environmental stability, right? I mean, his mom obviously was not there for him.
Right. And that's a big thing, I mean, guys think their mom. It's a thing. There's a bond. I don't know it because I don't have sons. I've got daughters, but you know, my brother and our mom. It's like, I don't know, like the daddy-daughter bond. Not okay, I'm just gonna stop talking.
We got it.
And we're moving on.
Melissa says that the cannibalism would have always been with him, maybe, like anyways wanted to and just couldn't hold it back anymore. Do you think that we know about everything he did? You know, the time he was in the military and stuff. Do you think that he got away with anything?
No. There's no way. There's no way we know everything.
Like, how many dead animals did he lick? You know, when his dad wasn't looking.
So gross. Was it 2 in the movie or for real?
I don't know.
He was just throwing a number out there.
To be honest,
he was like,
it's gotta be at least 2.
If anybody says how many of something and I have no idea, it's just always fucking 2.
To be honest, though, I do feel really bad for Lionel Dahmer and how much weight he probably holds.
He was so,
as far as like teaching them how to dissect animals,
and then he was in such denial. You know, and then finally he realized his part, I think.
Well, and then like kicking him out, you know, and forcing him into the military, and you know, all those things, I'm sure, like, weighs heavily on a parent when you're the parent of a serial killer.
Yeah.
But especially because of the being left alone and being basically, you know, pushed off by your family constantly. You know, at some point as a parent, you got to feel like you had a helping hand in it. Whereas you look at other people, maybe like, you know, Bundy, where you're like, the parents kind of probably feel like they didn't really have any hand in him becoming who he did.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. My kids aren't serial killers.
I can imagine being a parent of a serial killer would be pretty like traumatic to a point where like how you probably take on like all of the responsibility. Like, my son's out there killing the shit out of people.
How could I have not known?
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah. What did I do to cause that? That's
and as a parent, you always doubt yourself anyways in your parenting skills. You know, I mean, I have, you know, it's like, God, did I do the right thing, or where did I fuck up? You know, things like that. And then imagine, you know, this is with normal children, and then you have somebody who turns out like that. I can imagine the feeling that a parent would have. You know, it's like, where the hell did I go wrong?
Well, and I think too,
they did such a good job in that show portraying like his father's emotions and just like the weight. You like in all, like after his father found out in the show, every scene after that, you could feel the weight.
Oh yeah.
Guilt and everything just like pouring out of the screen. I was just like, God.
Yeah, that was good. That was very good.
Yeah. What do we got?
Do we think people that collect serial killer memorabilia will become serial killers?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if I start killing people.
Now I resemble that remark.
No one hashtagged the FBI. I got a couple things I need to pull down off my wall.
Right. Good thing I'm in my nerd room and not my horror room.
Oh.
Derek says, "Damn it, we fucked."
Oh.
I do want to ask you two what scene or moment in that show did it for you? Like what was it that like would just what part of that show just had you captivated the most? I mean, my part was the sandwich part. Like the whole scene where, you know, Dahmer knocks on the door all the way up until he leaves, just that whole scene in the sandwich, I was just captivated. Like that was it. I don't think I've seen anything greater in a TV show ever in my life than that scene, which is why I brought you guys a fucking sandwich.
Unwrap it and give me a bite, damn it.
Right. But what part was it for you? Like I need to know because
God, I don't know if I have anything that really sticks out.
That is a beautiful dog.
Oh, thank you. That's Ruby Rose. They just got home. I feel like I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was one of the scenes with one of the victims that I don't know. And it was
here. I'll go.
Go ahead.
You're taking a
No, you go ahead.
For me, it was definitely, and I know maybe this is like probably for most people or a cliche way to answer it, but I would think it's for me the kid getting given back to Dahmer, because at least, you know, the kid was all drugged up and things, and probably really didn't understand what was happening mostly at that time. But to be given back to the guy you just got away from, and then on top of that, the neighbor standing there going like, "What do you do?" Like the effects on her, that obviously the kid who was later killed, and everything, like just that whole scenario is mind-boggling to me how it happened. And I think that's like shows how bad that era was for people of different colors or sexualities and things like that, is how easy it was for the cops to do things like that. Just that was just such a pivotal thing, and that in his whole story, you know what I mean, is the fact that the cops gave an underage kid back to him while there's people standing around screaming, "No, that's a child," and they still did it.
Like, yeah. It's like they're like going to overlook the overage thing because it's a gay thing.
Right. You know what I mean? Like to me, that was like the hardest part to get through and to kind of like wrap my brain around, is like, how on earth, like I get like going to the bathhouse and drugging a guy, and that's kind of easy, but to literally be giving a kid back to the cops, or giving your captee to the cops, and then getting them back while everyone's standing around screaming, "Are you out of your mind?" Like that. Yeah. And then also, we never even brought up, he got pulled over with a dead body in the back of his fucking car and somehow drove away from that. I've gotten pulled over with a gram of weed. Got a ticket. This guy had a whole dead ass body in his car. Didn't even get a ticket.
That's so funny.
He might have got a ticket. I don't remember. But what, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's your luck. You just have bad luck.
Serial killer ever.
You just shouldn't be a serial killer because you would have really bad luck.
I have like the most, like, I almost said iconic look. That's not what I meant. But I'm like the most recognizable dude ever. Like, I literally can't do anything.
You have tattoos on your face.
It's true.
Oh, is that what those are?
It's true. I get made fun of.
I've known you for how long, Vlad? And I didn't know those were tattoos on your face.
They're definitely not dolphins.
But you never showered.
He had dirty brows.
My blue dirty brows.
You got dirty brows. Come here, Hannibal. Come here. Oh no.
He knew he could talk adults into believing him. That's a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what he did, is he just had to convince people, like convince the cops, or the cop that pulled him over the dead body, was he wasn't doing what people thought he was doing.
See, I don't know. Like, before, if you were talking Bundy, then yes, Bundy was a smooth talker, right? That guy could talk his way out of anything. But I don't know if Dahmer was a smooth talker, if he was just fucking lucky. Like,
hearing him, like the depiction of him, on the show talking to guys at the bar and stuff, he was pretty awkward.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like he was a product of the times. It was lucky. Cops didn't want to deal with him, so he was just, I don't know. I mean, he did have some convincing conversations with people, but I think a lot of it was luck.
Yeah,
I think
that was pure luck.
I think there had to have been something socially awkward about him, because he wasn't an unattractive guy. You know what I mean? So he could have gone into a bar and met a guy and had, whatever. So I think that there had to have been something like a social awkwardness, that when he would go out to bars, there was a reason people didn't want to talk to him. It wasn't because he was ugly or anything like that. But
it's because he was weird somehow.
Yeah.
Like, he was somehow kind of just weird. And he had this, the way he carried himself was kind of weird.
Well, and a lot of that goes to say when he had to like pay guys to come take pictures, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a regular attractive guy doesn't have to pay people to come over and take pictures. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I felt like there had to have been something about him that made other people uncomfortable for them to have to be paid to come over and have a drink. Or,
well, a lot of people can also feel vibe in the air too. Some people are more receptive than others, and
True.
If there's a bad guy around, if you're talking to somebody, you can kind of tell. You can feel it coming off of them.
There's people I've definitely been around in conversations with where I was just like, okay, I know I'm never going to speak to you again, like on purpose. Like, I'm going to actively avoid you.
I don't like it in your energy bubble, so I'm going to stay far, far away.
Exactly. I feel like Dahmer's
one of me. I am no longer going to talk to you.
Exactly. You have a serial killer vibe, sir.
Let's talk about how Dahmer died.
Yeah, that was kind of brutal.
Derek says, should I even pay people to come drink with me?
I don't know. Maybe if you offer to take their picture, they will come.
maybe you just were born in the wrong decade. You should have been born in the 70s.
Just hit him with I'm gonna make you watch this Zompire Horde podcast, and then you can leave.
Then you can leave.
Yeah.
Sure.
You just have to watch this first.
Did either of you guys hear the untrue story of him getting a broom handle broken off in his ass?
No.
I think I might have heard a sprinkling of that, but I don't believe that was.
I think it falls along the same lines as like the Jamie Lee Curtis as a hermaphrodite kind of. What are those?
Oh, the urban legend. That's all it is.
Yeah, like because I had heard that about Dahmer was that a guy had broken a broom handle or a mop handle off in his asshole, and I was like, you know what? Kill me, but please don't ever break anything off in my asshole. Like I'd much rather just like. So then when I found out he got beat over the head with a dumbbell, I kind of felt better. Like I shouldn't say happy for him, but it just made my butthole clench less.
I'm pretty sure that the show was pretty accurate on his.
Did you just snort?
I don't think there was any shoving.
No.
Derek Winsky says that's what he heard growing up in Wisconsin. So I'm not wrong, and I've probably heard it in New Jersey or Maryland, but I'm not wrong after I heard it. So someone else heard it.
You're always right.
But so instead, he was beat over the skull with a dumbbell because he was in the weight room cleaning up. Him and another there was another guy there that got beat to death because he was a witness.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the dude, his name, Jesse Andrew. Wait, so on the morning of November 28th, 1994. So this is 3 years after he was caught. Dahmer left his cell to conduct his assigned work detail. Accompanying him were two fellow inmates, Jesse Anderson and Christopher Scarver. The trio left unsupervised in the showers of the prison gym for approximately 20 minutes. Dahmer was discovered on the floor of the bathrooms of the gym, suffering from extreme head wounds. He had been bludgeoned over the head and face with a 20-inch metal bar. His head had also been repeatedly struck against the wall in the assault. Scarver, who was serving a life sentence for murder already that he got committed in 1990, informed authorities he had first attacked Dahmer with the metal bar as Dahmer was cleaning a staff locker room before attacking Anderson as he cleaned an inmate locker room. But apparently the reason he killed Dahmer was because Dahmer never showed any sort of remorse for the crimes.
Yeah,
is what he says.
Yeah.
Maybe the rumor got started because folks felt that's what should have happened.
Read is pretty much everything I've heard. Like that, like I never even heard the broomstick thing that you brought up. Like somehow that escaped me. Like, and if I did hear it, I was like, and promptly
threw it out. Yeah, that's not true. Forget.
Denied.
Yes.
So it looks like he was also cremated, and both his parents got some of the ashes. What's the market for some Dahmer ashes, you think?
Oh yeah,
God.
That's got to be some good money, right?
So the show depicted something that I actually never heard either, and I'm wondering if it's true. And I never bothered to look it up after watching. But in the show, they tried to sell his brain to science, and then the parents denied that, so they cremated it. Do either of you know if that actually happened or if they made that up for the show?
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
In September of 1995, Dahmer's body was cremated. His ashes were divided between his parents, owing to a disagreement between his parents as to whether Dahmer's brain should be retained for medical research. This organ was initially retained, but also cremated in December of 1995.
So they didn't make that up.
So it was accurate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
Derek Winsky says he saw the urn for what looks like $250,000. With the new show out,
where did you see that at, Derek?
Yeah, Patrick has some extra funds he needs to spend.
Yeah, right.
He's got $250,000 burning a hole in his pocket.
Yeah. I'm looking to burn some cash.
That's crazy though. Like, I've seen, some ashes and
that
stuff
says
like that.
$250 million.
Oh yeah, I got that in my back pocket right now.
No, it's 250,000.
Okay, wait.
No one's paying 250 million for a damn.
Oh, okay, you're right. That was a.
I'll send a like to Vlad. I like you too, buddy. Thanks. I'm sure he meant link.
Link, it's the same thing,
right?
But Derek, I'm the one that asked, dude. Why don't I get the link?
I'll have to share it with you. Let me see what we got here.
I thought there was another 0. Sorry.
So yeah, he started in 1998. There's been a ton of like television shows too where he's been like featured or talked about. Mark Myers directed the film My Friend Dahmer, premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival. That's actually based off a graphic novel
movie, right?
What's that?
My Friend Dahmer. That's fairly new, right?
2017.
Oh God!
And it's based on a graphic novel by John Backdorf.
Yeah, I knew.
Have you seen it?
Knew the graphic novel existed, but I didn't realize the movie was that old already. No, I haven't seen it.
I have seen it. I watched it once.
Is it good?
Like I said, it's pretty good. It just, I feel like they overplay kind of how much of a class clown or how weird, you know what I mean, that he was.
Is that it? Besides that, is it okay?
Oh, he said 2,500.
Oh. Well, you need to put a decimal in there.
You guys need to become friends on Facebook so you can send you the link. 2,500 is not good.
I have no friends.
I'm your friend.
It is.
Okay.
We're your friends.
Thanks.
You came over to dinner at my house. That's like some friendship.
Yeah, dude, we all hung out.
That's like next level shit right there.
Dude, we hung out together in person.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. The Dahmer film, which came out in 2002, which is a biographical crime drama thriller film written and directed by David Jacobson, was also a theatrical release. It's based on the crimes of Jeffrey Dahmer. It goes on to say Jeremy Renner, right, who plays Hawkeye in all the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. Also, he's in that movie, The Town. Have you guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's about like these Boston bank robbers. Him and Ben Affleck are in it. It's actually really good. But that I actually really enjoyed. That's probably my second favorite Dahmer movie. I mean, there's not a whole lot of Dahmer films, but that's probably my second to the new one.
Where is it streaming?
It does not say currently on here. I'd have to look it up on Google.
Oh, okay. Well,
but it's probably on.
To do that right now. I can do that too.
I think it's on Netflix right now.
Oh, okay.
Netflix. That would make sense because usually Netflix floods you with whatever their newest shit is. So they'll bring back all the old stuff like My Friend is Dahmer and all those ones.
Yeah.
But my real question is, what the fuck are we going to talk about next week, guys?
Oh, shit.
Are we going to do another horror? Are we going to do true crime?
Or we can combine the two.
Let's do the episode that Michelle said earlier. What would you say? Would you rather?
Yeah, let's do it. Would you rather? We'll have a week to come up with some things.
And fans can play.
Oh yeah. Would you rather have a vagina for a mouth or penises for fingers? Things like that.
Yeah, and then
penis fingers. Wait. That's cool. Like I'm down for that. But did she mention something about doing a clown episode?
We could do a clown episode also.
Soon. I mean, clowns are fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into doing it. Like I said, no disrespect. I just want to get another clown perception from a rodeo clown or
like a different type of clown because I kind of want to touch on origins of clowns.
Melissa Volan has a dirty
why they're scary and
penis.
There's just
Urban Legends. That's a good one too,
dude. Urban Legends. That is a great one.
Was that a suggestion for next week's show?
Yes. Oh no, but we could.
This is a show about dick.
No, that's not about wieners.
I kind of like this Urban Legends idea, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Also, Michelle knows this. Melissa knows this. Because Melissa is our #1 fan, we sent her a #1 fan package.
Ooh.
It hit the mail today. And I'm so excited for her to get it because it was handmade by a good friend of mine, and it's a one-of-a-kind thing. There's no other ones. This is the only one, and it's going to Melissa. And
can we do an unboxing show when Melissa gets that?
We can do an unboxing show.
Oh, dude. Melissa, when you get that, your job is to record yourself opening it. Okay?
My buddy Luke says, great show. My interwebs were fucking up. It'd be good to see you. Yeah, I saw him today. He was skateboarding by. Told me he was going to come in and watch the show. So that's awesome.
Thank you, Luke.
Derek Winsky says cryptids.
That's a good one, too. That would kind of go along with urban legends a little bit.
What are cryptids?
Cryptids are things like, mermaids.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mythical creatures.
Melissa Volan says, thank you so much. I will do it. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Awesome. So yeah, we should, let's just do that. So then we can, we'll do urban legends as well as we'll bring in cryptids. Obviously, because Derek and Winsky and I cannot agree on football teams, we do agree on
yes, we will cover the New Jersey Devil.
Well, him and I are both New Jersey Devils hockey fans, so we have to talk
well, there you go.
So let's do that. Does that sound good for you guys?
That sounds great.
Patrick, we also have a show booked. Do you want to maybe go through a quick little announcement about that one coming up?
When? Oh, yeah.
So those of you who watch the show regularly know that some episodes are like this, where it's just conversations and we involve you in conversations, and some of them we have guests and we interview people. Well, we just booked December 12th, Seattle, I guess superstar is what you would want to call him, Ross Allison. If you don't know who Ross Allison is, he runs probably the biggest paranormal investigation group in the world, called A Ghost. He's been running it for over 20 years. He's also made a documentary movie called Parasense. He's been on TV. He's on the TV shows Ghost Hunters. He's written 6 books, currently writing 2 more. He also runs the underground haunted tours in Seattle called Spooked in Seattle. He is joining us on December 12th to discuss paranormal, his books, his documentary, his paranormal investigation team, his touring across the country and doing lectures. We'll be talking about all of that. So if you or any of your friends are into the paranormal, love ghost hunting, love watching movies or documentaries about ghosts, whether you believe or you don't, join us December 12th. Ross Allison will be here. He is a fantastic man. I used to be on his paranormal team for a little bit.
I went to high school with him.
Michelle knows how good of a guy he is. He's an awesome dude. He'll be here to talk all things paranormal. Super stoked.
Yes, I'm excited.
Hell yeah, I'm excited too. That's gonna be rad. So there's 2 shows, and then after that, we're gonna start booking them up for you.
Yeah. We got a few more under our belt too.
Watch our old episodes here on YouTube. We also have iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify.
Are we still on Twitch?
No.
Okay.
It's more of a gaming platform, and you kind of got to go.
But we're here, Facebook, and
we're right here. You can join the Zompire Horde podcast community page. There's a Zompire main page. We got YouTube, we got Twitter, we got Instagram.
Apple.
So go follow us on all of it. We're on Apple, iTunes,
Spotify.
We got a sandwich.
We got sandwiches.
We got meat sandwiches. We got spam sandwiches.
Human meat sandwiches.
Meat sandwiches.
Meat.
Well, as you both know, I love you very much.
I love you. I love you guys.
I am your host, Vlad the Rad, with my co-host, Patrick VonSmithenstein, and Michelle of the Dead and Angela Coffin in the background. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, join us, won't you?
Welcome to the Zompire Horde podcast. Join us every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as your hosts, Vlad the Rad and Michelle of the Dead, discuss horror, true crime, and the macabre. Episodes available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Join us, won't you?